4,000 workers, which brings the total to 20,000. All because of a whopping $18 billion in loan losses, just about wiping out the bank's profits for all of last year. ABC's Bianna Golodriga is live at the New York Stock Exchange, and she has what it means for all of us. Bianna?
Good morning, Diane. It's being called the mother of all write-downs. As you mentioned, $18 billion lost, 40% of the stock value wiped out, and thousands of jobs gone, all happening within just the last 3 months. Now, this is what it looks like when the world's largest bank is hemorrhaging. So what does it mean for all the Americans waking up to this news this morning? While the credit crunch and housing woes have dealt losses to many big banks, none has been harder hit than Citigroup. CEO Chuck Prince was ousted in November. The company has lost nearly $130 billion in value in the past 6 months. That's more than the gross domestic product of the United Arab Emirates. Citigroup is reportedly looking to rich global investors for a bailout, including its largest shareholder, Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal. This after one was passed up earlier this week by the Chinese government. But with unemployment at a 2-year high, news that thousands of Citigroup bankers will be out of a job by year's end is yet another negative headline for a slowing economic picture that's beginning to look more and more like a recession. Citigroup said that these losses are clearly unacceptable. The company did announce, however, that it found $12.5 billion in new funding, not helping the stock this morning, however, which is already down 3.5% in trading. But the bigger picture is it could already add a gloomy economic tone for the rest of us living on Main Street, not just Wall Street, because if these bankers can't hold on to their jobs, people are wondering, can I?
Thank you, Bianna. Tough question there. Well, we'll turn to the Michigan primary today, and the economy is a major factor there as well. Unemployment in that state is the highest in the country. For Republicans, this is a key race, pitting native son Mitt Romney, whose father was governor of the state, against comeback kid John McCain and the other man from Hope, Mike Huckabee. John Berman is in Troy, Michigan, as voting gets underway this morning. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Chris. You know, the polls here are now open. You can see the first voters casting their ballots. It's the Republican race in question here. The Democrats pretty much skipped Michigan. And by the time the polls close today, this state could provide some clarity in the twisted, confused, convoluted Republican race, or it could just make the whole thing a bigger mess.
It's a tight three-way race here between the hometown hero, the war hero, and the crusader. Mitt Romney wants his first win after 2 punishing defeats in Iowa and New Hampshire.
I'd like to win Michigan. I plan on winning Michigan, but I sure don't have to win Michigan.
John McCain wants momentum. And Mike Huckabee wants an upset.
I want you to vote for me.
And each candidate has his own advantage. Mitt Romney is running as the businessman, a businessman with Michigan roots.
I have a lot of memories here. This is where both Ann and I were born.
John McCain is looking to capitalize on independent voters and even Democrats crossing over, like they did in his 2000 victory here.
We won it here in 2000, and we will win it again in 2008.
And Mike Huckabee is counting on the big evangelical vote in the western part of the state.
To have this many church leaders and pastors come out on a Saturday morning is pretty amazing.
There is a huge amount at stake in this state, a state with a huge amount on its mind.
We need jobs in the worst way.
Michigan has the highest unemployment rate in the country. One by one, the candidates walked through the Detroit Auto Show to show solidarity with the state's troubled industry. Mitt Romney even suggested he bleeds for cars.
I've got Michigan in my DNA. I got it in my heart, and I've got cars in my bloodstream.
His CEO experience could be a boost for him in this economically fragile state. And if it's not, he won't be able to say there's no place like home.
Good, thanks. Nice to meet you.
So what happens next? All the candidates say they're moving on to South Carolina, which votes on Saturday, but Mitt Romney has already pulled his ads from that state, and he's not going all out there. He's looking to Nevada and Florida. Waiting for him in Florida, Rudy Giuliani. Remember him? Chris?
All right, thank you, John. And on the Democratic side, stakes are also very high. Tensions hit a boiling point Monday over what critics call racially charged remarks by the Clintons. Just the latest twist in the duel between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. David Wright has more.
Son of Hillary Rodham Clinton.
At a New York event honoring Martin Luther King, Senator Hillary Clinton faced catcalls and boos. backlash from a comment she no doubt regrets ever making.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led a movement, and then he worked with President Johnson to get the civil rights laws passed.
I don't think that in any way it was a racial comment. That's something that's been played out in the press.
I think a lot of people interpret it, though, as it takes a white politician to fulfill a black man's dream.
That's not how I interpreted it, but what I did interpret was her believing that the intricacies of the legislative process were in some ways more significant than what happened when ordinary people rise up and march and go to jail and insist on justice.
You know, it is something that is personally hurtful to me.
For her part, Clinton told Tyra Banks she's pained by the reaction to her comments.
You know, I've been on the forefront of pushing for civil rights and women's rights and human rights for many years.
So late in the day, Clinton issued a statement saying, when it comes to our heroes, President John F. Kennedy and Dr. King, Senator Obama and I are on the same side, echoing a sentiment Obama expressed hours earlier.
Let's try to focus on the work that needs to get done.
From both sides, a ceasefire, but judging from one voter question last night.
We have never elected a black man in our country.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so
I've noticed that.
Right.
Race is still part of the conversation. For Good Morning America, David Wright, ABC News, Carson City, Nevada.
And now, from the political to the very personal question of your health this morning, 32 million Americans take a drug for their cholesterol called Zetia, or as part of a combination drug called Vytorin. You know those Vytorin ads.
Cholesterol. It can come from that cherry pie, but also from your granddad's side.
We have seen them a lot out there. Well, it is a whole new morning. A new study questions the medical benefits and whether we should even be taking Zetia at all. One leading cardiologist called the results of the study shocking. And joining us now with answers from Palm Beach, Florida, is our medical editor, Dr. Tim Johnson. And thanks for being with us, Tim. Okay. Bottom line question this morning. Zetia or Zetia as part of Vytorin, should Americans be planning to stop taking it?
I don't think they have to stop taking it. The question is whether they should have started it in the first place, and they should talk to their doctor if they are taking it. We don't have the ultimate evidence that Zetia saves lives, that it prevents heart attacks and strokes. We do have that evidence for statins like Zocor that was also studied. And so I believe that we should use statins as the first-line drugs and save Zetia only for people who either can't take statins because of side effects or for some reason won't take statins.
Well, a lot of people out there taking Zetia and real questions about whether they need to go on taking it this morning. Let me ask you about these statins. And statins do what now?
Statins prevent the formation of bad cholesterol in the liver. They've been around for years. They're very effective at doing that. Zetia blocks the absorption of cholesterol in the gut, and it definitely will lower cholesterol levels. What we don't know, and what has to be proven by studies that are now underway, is whether it actually saves lives.
But with the statins, like Zocor, Lipitor, those, they not only appear to lower cholesterol more than Zetia, but there is proven result on heart disease?
There absolutely is. There's proven results on both lowering cholesterol, preventing heart attacks and strokes, and preventing deaths. So statins are the first choice for most physicians in this country. And as I said, Zetia should be added only when people won't take statins or when they've taken statins at the fullest possible dose and they still need to lower their bad cholesterol. Now, one good thing that came out of the study that we're talking about is that Zetia appeared to be no more dangerous than statins. There were no more serious side effects than the statin studied. So it's not so much its danger as the fact that it has not been proven in what really counts in saving lives.
But wasn't there a little part of the study which said that plaque might actually increase a little bit instead of decrease, plaque in the arteries?
You read your studies very carefully. There was indeed a little more plaque in the study, which was on the carotid arteries in the neck, from the Zetia than from the Zocor alone, from the Zetia part of the study. However, that was not statistically significant. Many experts saying it's hard to interpret. So if there was an increase, it was slight and it is not statistically significant. And again,